Are you an individual brimming with positivity? Do you believe that all your problems can be solved with gun violence? If so, then look no further from Chixia, because she's one of the few characters that you can resonate with. If you have been watching my character breakdown videos for a while now, you can probably tell that the information that I provide are not based on popular opinions. That's why I spend long hours testing characters before I can make an advanced character breakdown for such characters. You've probably seen a lot of Chixia videos already, but they don't really tell you the most important things like, is Chixia American? Or how to solve some of her biggest problems, which is where I come in. If this video proves helpful or enjoyable in any way, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to help support the channel. In this video, I'm going to go over her pros and cons, the basics of her kit, advanced mechanics that you can abuse, best team and build for more damage, and lastly, optimal rotations for high damage. Chixia is one of the most broken 4-star characters that we have in the game currently because her forte circuit can output crazy amounts of single target damage. Being able to move while using her forte circuit to do damage can make her escape incoming damage while dishing out damage at the same time. However, there's a problem with this. When up against bosses like Tempest Memphis and Fallacy of No Return who can teleport to your location, it makes it hard to avoid incoming damage when they get too close to you because Chixia does not have anything built into her kit like Alto that taunts enemies and make her safe from incoming damage. Also keep in mind that taking some kinds of damage will interrupt her forte circuit, which will require you to build up forte stacks again to be able to use it, further increasing her on-field time. This does not seem to be a problem when playing solo, because when your forte circuit is interrupted, you can dodge and use her dodge counter, which has a very high scaling, and you can use her basic attacks to recover forte stacks once again. But this becomes a problem when playing in a full team in the Tower of Adversity, where damage per second is the main focus. While her forte circuit demands you to put some distance between you and the enemy without putting yourself in danger, her signature 4-cost echo, which is the Inferno Rider, and her liberation wants you to get close to the enemy before you can use it to do some damage. These are the main problems of her kit, but there are methods that you can use to get around this, which I'll cover in the advanced mechanics section. But first, let's cover her basics briefly. Her forte circuit is very simple to understand compared to other characters like Camellia that looks like it came straight out of a biology textbook. You simply need to build forte stacks called thermobaric bullets by using your resonance skill, intro skill, or basic attacks when it hits the enemy. Keep in mind that you have 2 resonance skill charges by default. When you have at least 30 of the thermobaric bullets or forte stacks, you can hold your resonance skill and Chixia will enter the Daka Daka state. I swear I did not make this up, it's literally in her character description. In the Daka Daka state, Chixia will constantly consume the thermobaric bullets or forte stacks. You can tell if she has consumed 30 or more bullets when her forte stacks goes past the marker right here. Pressing your basic attack after your forte stacks has been consumed past that marker will allow her to use Boom Boom. I have no idea who keeps coming up with these names, but they sound so simple and funny as well. Both Boom Boom and Daka Daka are considered as resonance skill damage, which will affect your team building options, and I'll cover that in the team building and best build section. The thermobaric bullets or forte stacks damage scaling is decent at level 10 for something that you can hit 70 times if you have unlocked her first inherent passive, which adds 10 thermobaric bullets to the 60 that you can hold by default. The first inherent passive also increases Boom Boom's damage scaling by 50%, which is insane because the damage scaling of Boom Boom at level 10 is 437%. Now that covers the basics, so let's move on to the more advanced mechanics that you can abuse to play her optimally. Her second inherent passive will increase her attack by 30% when she consumes 30 thermobaric bullets if it hits the enemy, lasting for 10 seconds. This pairs well with Boom Boom because you need to consume 30 thermobaric bullets to be able to use Boom Boom. This means that as soon as the thermobaric bullets or your forte stacks consumption goes past this marker right here, you have obtained the 30% attack, and you can press your basic attack to use Boom Boom right after, which increases its damage because of the 30% attack buff. There is also another thing that the game does not tell you. When you perform any action such as dodging or jumping or even taking damage that interrupts the Daka Daka state while consuming your thermobaric bullet, you can still use Boom Boom as long as Chixia has the fusion aura around her, which lasts for about 2 seconds. What I like to do is to use her liberation when Boom Boom becomes available and then follow up with a basic attack to use Boom Boom, which helps with resonance energy regeneration. Keep in mind that Boom Boom does not have interruption to resistance, but you can swap out of the animation quickly to end your rotation and the attack will still land. Her sequences are also great, but the one that changes her playstyle is her S4, which grants her full forte stacks and resets 1 charge of her resonance skill, which gives you the chance to use Boom Boom again after entering the Daka state. Chixia's Daka state also have some interruption to resistance as well, so you don't have to dodge every single attack by the enemy as long as you have a good healer on your team. As a general rule, the boss attacks in Withering Waves that have the highest stagger is the last attack of their attack sequence. A good example is the last Claw Slash from Tempest Memphis and the Downward Slam attack by the Monkey boss, so attacks like those are the ones that you need to dodge when using Chixia, or else you easily lose the damage from Boom Boom if you fail to consume at least 30 of her Forte stacks by dodging every single attack by the enemy. Now let's move on to her best team options and build. Changli is currently her best sub DPS because Chixia can make use of both the Liberation damage amplification and fusion damage amplification. The damage scaling on her Liberation is very high with a decent area of effect, so the Liberation buff from Changli coupled with Chixia's S3 can make her hit some crazy numbers when the enemy's HP is below 50%. If you don't have Changli or her playstyle is a bit too complicated for you, you can use Zheji as a sub DPS because of her 25% skill damage outro buff, since Boom Boom and Daka are considered as resonance skill damage. Since Chixia has a resonance energy cost of 150, Zheji's inherent skill that provides 15 resonance energy to the incoming character that activates her outro skill is very useful in maintaining a consistent liberation uptime. Tao Chi is also a viable pick as a sub DPS, but I don't recommend it because the only utility that she provides besides her 38% resonance skill damage amplification outro buff is the shields, but the shields lack interruption to resistance, which is a huge deal for Chixia because if her Daka state gets interrupted by the enemy attacks before consuming 30 of her Forte stacks, you will lose access to Boom Boom, which makes up a huge portion of her damage source. For her build, the weapon choice is obviously the Static Mist because that's the only 5-star pistol that we currently have in the game, but if you don't have that, go for the Relativistic Jet. The echo choice will be 5-piece Molten Rift with double fusion damage bonuses. The 4 cost should be crit rate or crit damage depending on whatever that you're lacking, and the 1 cost will be attack main stat. Lingering Tunes is also a second best option, but since Chixia does not have access to a weapon that buffs resonance skill damage, it's best to go with Molten Rift to get more fusion damage bonus to make up for the loss of resonance skill damage bonus, since they are both additive to each other per the game's damage calculation. Now let's get into her optimal rotations. I don't have Changli yet, so I'll be using Zheji as her sub DPS. You first need to use Showkeeper's skill and then swap to Zheji to use her Liberation, then swap to Chixia and press her skill twice to fill up her Forte stacks, then swap to Showkeeper to do basic attacks and consume them with her heavy attacks to fill up about 70% of her Concerto energy, and then use her Liberation to gain full Concerto energy. Use her Echo skill and then intro with Zheji. Do her full basic attack sequence but cancel the last hit animation by swapping into Chixia. Use her Echo skill and then swap back to Zheji. Press her skill, basic attack, and then spam her skill 3 times to fully fill her Concerto energy. Use the Heron skill and then intro with Chixia. Chixia should have full Forte stacks and 2 resonance skill charges after the intro. Hold your skill to enter the Daka state to do damage to the enemy while keeping your distance away from the enemy. Keep in mind that having 2 skill charges after the intro helps ensure that you can sacrifice 1 charge to do a dodge counter like I did here when Memphis attacked me from a distance. I used the second skill charge to enter the Daka state to deal some damage until Boom Boom became available for me to use. After using Boom Boom, use your grapple if you're too far from the enemy, and use Chixia's Liberation, which refreshes 1 resonance skill charge, and then use the resonance skill charge to enter the Daka state again to use another Boom Boom. Then repeat the same steps for the next rotation. That's basically how you play Chixia. Chixia is a top tier DPS character overall, but the main thing that holds her back is the enemy attacks that interrupts her Daka state, which can prevent you from using Boom Boom, and if you want to regenerate more Forte stacks, you have to rely on her basic attacks, which increases her on-field time, and it's not really recommended to do that while playing in a full team. This can be easily solved if we get a character in the future that grants a shield with interruption to resistance or provides only interruption to resistance. That'll be all for Chixia's advanced character breakdown. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
So please whatever